Hello, I'm here with Chef Mercure. He's the special guest for this episode. We're going to do a two-part where we're going to show you how we're going to make the gingerbread pieces for gingerbread houses. And then the second part will show you how to build the house. Josh, what are we going to start with?
Alright, the equipment you need is a sheet pan, a rolling pin, a whisk, and a mixing bowl. This recipe is brought to you by Food Network. This is for the gingerbread. The first ingredient you need is a half a cup or 1 stick of butter at room temperature, a half cup of dark brown sugar, a quarter cup of molasses. You'll need 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, a teaspoon and a half of ground cloves, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 cups of flour, and 2 tablespoons of water. For the royal icing, you'll need 1 pound or 3 cups of powdered sugar, 2 eggs, a quarter cup of water, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract or almond extract.
As for decorating, we chose to use some candy canes, some peppermints, and some gumdrops.
So in a large mixing bowl, we're going to start by creaming. Give me that. 1 stick of butter. It's going to be creamed at room temperature. You can start whisking that. While he's creaming the butter, I'm going to add the ginger, the baking soda, the cinnamon, and the clove. We're going to add the quarter cup of brown sugar. And last, we're going to add the molasses, quarter cup. Looks like motor oil. Blended together. If you have a hand mixer, that would be a lot easier.
Yep.
Next, we're going to add the 2 cups of flour and the 2 tablespoons of water.
You really got to get in there with this if you're doing it by hand.
It's still kind of floury and not dough-like. I'm going to add some more water to it. Oops. I added more water to the table than the recipe. After you've mixed your ingredients together, you want dough-like consistency. You're going to put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes.
And while the gingerbread is in the refrigerator, we're going to work on the royal icing.
First, we're going to separate egg whites from egg yolks. So you're going to crack your egg in half, and you're going to let the egg whites fall into one container. And you're going to move the egg yolk back and forth from the shell. Let's do that one more time. We're going to mix the egg whites, vanilla extract, and a quarter cup of water. Again, if you have a hand mixer, this is much easier.
Right. We just added some more powdered sugar because we felt that it was a little too thin.
That looks good. So after you have the icing at the right consistency, it should be pretty thick. You're going to put it in a Ziploc bag.
And this might get messy.
Unless you have a pastry bag, which works just as well. Alright, next we're going to roll out the gingerbread. You're going to start by flouring your working surface. That's so the bread does not stick to the table and or counter. Flour the top of that so it does not stick to your rolling pin. Then you're going to roll it out.
After you've rolled it out, you can start to cut it into your shapes. We're going to start by making this a perfect square. what we did was we just made a big square. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the leftovers on the side and we're going to work with that after. Right now, we have this big square. I'm just going to turn that into 4 squares. And there we have our walls. And at this point, this is where you're going to want to do any windows or any doors that you have in mind. Let's get a little creative. And maybe we'll not have a window on the back end.
Next, you're going to want to remove the gingerbread from the table. So using a spatula, you're just going to slowly lift it off. And move it to your cooking tray. If a piece breaks, just take the knife and kind of stitch it together. And then pack it down.
You know, this is your house. You know, get creative. Do whatever you want. Maybe you're an architect. We're not.
We don't even know basic fire laws. That's why we only have one door. You want to bake the door,
I'm going to put that right there.
but you're not going to bake it attached to the wall. We're going to put the remaining gingerbread on the table. We're going to roll that out.
At this time, I'm going to make more of a rectangle. Kind of wanted maybe longer pieces for the roof.
It also doesn't have to look perfect because we are going to cover it with a ton of frosting.
We didn't get very creative. We went pretty much a generic route. We have the walls. This is where the door will go. The 2 windows. The 2 hats for the roof. We got a door. And we decided 4 pieces for the chimney. And we're going to stick it together with the icing after.
Alright, we're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Alright, you're going to put your gingerbread in the oven for 15 minutes.
Here's a fun tip we learned while making this video, is we opened the candy way too soon. And so we maybe need to pick up some more at the store.
Yeah. Alright, after 15 minutes, you're going to want to pull out the gingerbread cookies. After you pull the gingerbread cookies out, you're just going to let them cool for a little while because you don't want to melt the icing.
And that wraps up the first part on how to bake the gingerbread house pieces. The next episode, in which we'll leave a link either in the description or I'll leave it here, we're going to show you how you can put it together. Because we've been picking at it. Oh, there's pieces of licorice.